Review Series.
Hey, I'm Jamal, and this is my 1999 Honda Civic Si.
And today we're going to be teaching you how to drive stick. Okay, and now just a few things to remember while you're learning how to drive stick. There's 3 pedals. Don't let that scare you. We'll go over that a little later in the video. There's 5 or 6 gears in the transmission. We'll cover that too. Another thing is there's always a brake pedal. So if nothing else, always remember there's a brake pedal so you can always stop the car.
Now let's get in the car.
Alright, first thing you'll notice, there's an extra pedal. This is called the clutch pedal. This is a very important step in driving stick, and we'll get to that more in depth in a little bit. Then we have the brake. Remember, if all else fails, always know that the brake is there and you can always stop. Use it at any time. And of course, my favorite pedal, the gas pedal. Alright guys, so this right here is the shift knob. As you can see on there, it tells you where the gears are. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. My car happens to be come with 6 speeds. There's 6 gears in the transmission. Like I said, some come with 5, but to be honest, the basic concept is all the same. So let's run through the gears real quick. This is first gear, so you're in neutral right now. Neutral is in the middle. You can move the shift knob back and forth, and you know you're in neutral. First is all the way to the left and straight up, just like it says on the shift knob. Then down and straight back is second. Third is straight up in the middle. Fourth is straight back. Fifth, and because I have 6 gear, it's straight down here. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people think it's difficult to shift, but in reality, the car pretty much knows where it needs to go and where you want to put it. So it kind of naturally just goes into place. So that's not too much of a problem. Okay, another thing. I know a couple people are probably wondering, you know, where's park, where's reverse? Well, right now, we'll save park for later, but right now we'll talk about reverse. The thing about reverse is in every car, depending on what kind of car you have, what year it is, and all that stuff, depends on where the location of your reverse is. But it'll tell you on your shift knob. So mine is all the way over to the left and straight up to the top. So like that, you're in reverse, and that's reverse.
Alright guys, so now we're going to touch on how to start a manual car.
Jamal, I don't understand. Why do we have to tell them how to start a car? Shouldn't they know?
Because, Richard, it's not just like an automatic car. It's different.
Dude, put the key in there.
Look.
Dude, why?
I mean, pushing a brake.
Dude, stop playing me, man. Why isn't it working? Why not?
Because you have to hold in the clutch when you start a manual car. Let's see.
Oh.
Alright guys, it's clutch to the floor and turn your kick. And before you let your foot off the clutch, make sure your car's in neutral. See that movement? There we go.
Alright guys, so we're back in my car, and now that we have some of the basics down, we're going to put it into action, and let's start the car and begin to start moving. So when you first get in the car, always put your seatbelt on. Secondly, like we said before, you want to have your clutch pressed all the way to the floor. So once the clutch is pressed all the way to the floor, you put your key in. And like my boy Wiz Khalifa says, no keys, push to start.
No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is.
So then, once the car is on, we remember that we cannot move our foot off the clutch until we look down at the shift knob and move it into neutral. Because if we were to do so, the whole car would jerk and stall out, and we don't want that. And to check that it's in neutral, we can move it, and we know it's in neutral. So therefore, we can relax the clutch. And it's still a good idea to keep your foot on the brake because, you know, you could roll and stuff, but we do have the e-brake engaged. And obviously, we're going to disengage that, put it down. We put our clutch all the way to the floor, and we'll just hold it there. We look at the shift knob, and you always have to start out in first gear when you're at a complete stop. We're at a complete stop right now, so we have to put it in first gear. First gear, it tells us right here, all the way to the left and straight up. Now we're in first gear. But we have to keep our feet exactly where they are because If we take our foot off the brake, we could roll. We take our foot off the clutch, we will stall. And that is just an absolute nightmare, so don't let that happen. So we're going to keep our clutch to the floor, which is our left foot. And another thing, your right foot touches the gas pedal and the brake pedal. Your left foot is the only foot that touches the clutch. And keep that in mind, because you don't want to get tangled up. Anyway, so we're in first gear. We're going to take our foot off our right foot off the brake. We're going to put it on the gas and hold down the gas a little bit till you get to about 2,000 RPMs. But remember, you never want to take your eyes off the road. Right now we're in a deserted place, but for future reference, remember, never take your eyes off the road. So hold it there, and we slowly start lifting our left foot off the clutch very slightly. Pull off ever so slightly, and once you start, and you can just take your time. It's going to take some time to get used to, and just hold everything. As soon as you start to feel the car moving, hold all your feet, count to like 2 Mississippi, and then completely off the clutch, and we're driving. You're in first gear, and we're moving. But then I remember, oh my gosh, we have to stop up here. What do? Don't panic. It's one after the others. So it's foot off your gas, clutch to the floor, use your brake as you need it, come to that complete stop, put the car in neutral, and then you can relax and just hold on the brake. Okay, another thing that a lot of beginners will say to me is, "Oh, Rich, I'm really scared about driving stick because I'm afraid I'm going to roll back and I'm going to hit somebody, or I'm going to get panicked." And don't worry about it. Practice on flat surface, feeling that engagement point that we talked about. So the point where you're letting out the clutch and you're giving it gas and the car starts to go. And once you get that down and you're fluid with that, you get on a hill like this, and then you practice a little bit on a hill, and then you're ready. As you get better, that's when you can start to take it out when there's more cars, and you start to feel comfortable. But something to keep in mind, like I said, don't ever freak out. Don't ever get scared if you're on a hill and you're practicing. Because when you think about it, if you just remember everything we talked about, you'll be fine. Just remember that there's always a brake. So if you're rolling out of control, just keep your clutch to the floor and just use the brake and stop, and you'll be fine. Another thing to keep in mind is the only thing that changes really on a hill, depending on how steep the hill is, we want to hold down the gas, and as we let out of the clutch, instead of counting to 2 Mississippi, maybe count to like 4 Mississippi, just because the car has to work extra hard to get caught up and go up that hill. So that's another thing. But other than that, just keep practicing. You'll get it.
Alright guys, so now Richard went over starting the car and driving it, but now I'm just going to touch upon shifting gears in between gears. So my car is a little bit older than Rich's, and it doesn't have like the shift gears on it. Like, it doesn't tell you which gear is which. I'm just going to run through my gears to show you guys like that they're the same as Rich's. Alright, so we got first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and fifth gear. We're about to get started, and the same concepts apply to my car as they did to Rich's. So that's going to be clutch to the floor and e-brake off. And okay, it's in neutral right now, and we're just going to put it in first gear. Alright, and now the engagement point. You want to slowly let off the clutch while you hit gas, and let's go. Alright, so as you can see, we're moving right now. I'm not going that fast, so there's no need for me to shift out of first gear. As I hit 3,000 RPMs, I'm going to put my foot on the clutch and shift into second. And we're in second gear right now. And if you want to go faster, other gears like third and fourth, same thing, same concept. Alright?
but not so fine that she's the one that everybody wants.
We want to touch on reverse real quick. So reverse, obviously, eventually you're going to need to reverse. So if we look, it'll tell you where reverse is, and it's all the way over and up to the left. So reverse. Now, just, reverse is a gear, so it works just like, first gear when you're complete stop and you're gonna start to move. So we put it in reverse. We put our clutch to the floor, and then we put it in reverse. Now, while keeping our clutch to the floor, we're gonna slowly give it gas. It's exactly the same as going from stop to start when you're in first gear, except this time when we start moving, we'll be moving backwards. So we're gonna be make sure the e-brake's down too, by the way. Hold down the gas to about 2,000 RPMs. Slowly let out on the clutch. As we let out on the clutch and everything starts to speed up, the car will start to move. Keep everything where it is. But remember, we want to be looking behind us. We don't want to be looking in front of us because we're going back. Now, when you need to stop, just put the clutch to the floor all the way, and the car will still roll a little bit. And then just use your brake as you need it. Okay? And then, to get out of reverse, you just pop it out. Now we're in neutral because we can move it back and forth. And then, you do what you got to do from there. Okay. So, you've practiced for hours and you're getting ready to go just chill out for a little bit. So now we're going to talk about how to properly power down the car and do everything you need to do before you can leave the car. So let's just, once we're in neutral, while holding our foot on the brake, we can relax the clutch foot, so the only foot we're using is right foot on the brake. Then we're going to pull the e-brake, because remember, there's no park gear in a manual transmission car, so it's always important that when you come to a complete stop when you're parking the car, first and foremost, always rip the e-brake as high as it can go to engage it. Then you're going to put your clutch to the floor and hold it there. And since the car doesn't have park, we're going to put the car in gear, because if we leave it like this, it's in neutral, and let's say the e-brake gives out, the car is going to roll if you're on a hill, and that's nothing but trouble. So to ensure that that doesn't happen, we're going to put the car in first gear, pretty much any gear you want. You can just slide it around wherever you want. Typically though, first gear. Put it in first gear, keeping your feet exactly where they are. You notice the e-brake's on, and then you just turn off the car. Important thing to remember though is make sure the car completely rumbles down and it shuts off, because if you're gonna pull off your foot before that point and it's in first gear, the car will stall, and that's not what we want. Okay? And then after that, just remove your seatbelt, leave your car, lock it, and just hang out, do you. Alright guys, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I think it's important for you guys to know what could happen if you don't follow the instructions that we've given you today. So let's say, and this is gonna, by the way guys, this is gonna happen, if you get anxious, you get nervous, you get too excited, this is bound to happen. Stalling is something that naturally happens, but obviously the less stalls the better, because the more stalls it wears on your clutch, and it's not good for your car. But we're going to show you just so that you're not terrified when it happens, because I know it will happen. So basically we're going to put the car in first gear, and basically a stall is when you just release the clutch and you're not giving it any gas, or not enough gas. So basically you're telling the car to do something, but there's no power behind it, so the car's just going to die. It's got nothing to do. So, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Ready? Without giving gas, well, I'll give it gas. It doesn't really matter. I'll give it some gas, and then I'll just let out on the clutch. Oh my God. I just snapped my neck and we just stalled the car. So if a stall happens, first of all, you can feel embarrassed and you're going to turn red and everyone's going to laugh at you, but it's okay. So to recover from a stall, simple. All you have to do, foot to the floor, start the car. Then look down here and make sure it's in neutral. While having the clutch to the floor, put it in first gear. Gas, off clutch, slowly, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then we're good. And just everything's normal. Everything's normal from that point. But like I said, don't be ashamed. It's going to happen. You're starting out. Like we said earlier, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll get, and you won't even have to worry about stalls. But definitely don't be that guy that stalls in the middle of traffic and holds up, 30, 40 people at a red light because you're going to hear the horns on that one. But just remain calm if it happens.
And guys, remember that practice makes perfect, so don't give up on your first try.
Yeah. And then like now let's get in the car. What are we saying?
Should you have your car already started?
No, we're gonna start from the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, it's recording now.
Yeah.
It should be. Well, hold on. Here, look at me real quick. I just want to say.
Oh yeah.
Is it bright enough? You can shine. You good?
Yeah.
Alright. You want to have your clutch pressed all the way to the floor, and where are my keys? Hold on. I can trim that.
Yeah.
Panic. Don't take your eyes off the road. I'm taking my eyes off the road, but I know what I'm doing, so it's okay. But she looks good, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She looks
Well,
very...
I didn't see her face that.
That's alright. She looked good. I know it. I saw her. Oh man. Wonder if she wants to learn how to drive stick.
Yeah, we can go teach her.
Plus, I have a push button.
Just be like Wiz Khalifa said.
Yeah.
Push to start.
But you gotta show it though, alright?
Yeah.
Alright guys, so